what is 2-second lean? It is simple. I took a world-class business concept practiced by the top companies in the world, Toyota, Harley-Davidson, Porsche, and made it fun and easy so anyone could tap into the power of daily continuous improvement. There are 3 easy steps to become a powerful lean thinker. First, learn the 8 wastes: overproduction, transportation, inventory, defects, overprocessing, motion, waiting, wasted human potential. Then you will see these different wastes everywhere, and it will drive you crazy. Second, you will be compelled to eliminate the waste you now see and make improvements every day that removes the waste in your life. Make it the first thing you do every day. Small, consistent, tiny, 2-second improvements, all hooked together day after day, adds up to mountains of more free time, friend time, and play time. You see, there's nothing cool about being wasteful, and there is everything cool about becoming a lean thinker. Third, pull out your smartphone and shoot a quick video to show your improvements to your friends, family, and coworkers. That's it. Prepare to experience the power of becoming a lean thinker.
All right, folks, good afternoon, or good morning, depending on where you are. Welcome to another month of ASQ's Lean Enterprise Division webinar series. This time we're including Paul Akers, who does many things. I'll let him introduce himself, but among other things, he's written the book 2-Second Lean, and he's going to be talking to us today on Lean is Simple.
Okay, well, I don't mind though, but that's fine. That's perfectly fine. It's whatever. If you think there's something pertinent, relevant, I have no problem with the interruption.
Okay, then if that's the case, then
so I would tell people type your questions as I'm going. If you have a question, and if Manny thinks it's appropriate, he'll interrupt me and say, Paul, somebody wants to know this, and I'm happy to do that. I think it's very, very appropriate if the question is pertinent.
Great. Okay, thank you. So you should be your show as of now. Yes, everything's good. Looks
okay,
good.
Lean is Simple. You got it up there, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so I'm going to rock and roll, and you're going to interrupt me if there's any problem. You ready?
Yep. Have at it.
Okay, everyone, welcome. My name is Paul Akers. I'm the author of the book 2-Second Lean. I've written about 5 books. 2-Second Lean is the most famous one of all. It's about 19 languages. I'm going to go over the details in that in just a minute. The name of this talk is called Lean is Simple. It is based on, let me find out why that is, based on my book 2-Second Lean, How to Grow People and Build a Fun Lean Culture. And fun is a very operative word here. So the question is, who am I? Okay, so who am I? Number one, I'm not a consultant, although I do consult with some of the biggest companies in the world. Number two, I'm not a professional speaker, although I speak to thousands of people all over the world. I am a manufacturer. I have a company called Fastcap. I'm a lean maniac 24/7. I think and breathe lean thinking and everything I do. And my hands are dirty. And why is that important? Because I'm not a theorist. Everything I'm talking to you about today, I do. This is no theory. This is what I do day in and day out. So this is my company. It's called Fastcap. It's a product development company. We make woodworking tools for professional woodworkers. We do business in 40 countries. We have 3,000 distributors worldwide, about 800 products. We make all kinds of cool products for the woodworking industry, from really cool innovative tape measures to CA glues to dust barrier systems for containment of dust to the last one there, Kaizen foam, which is actually one of our most famous ones, foam that you can cut out really easily with a utility knife and organize all your tools. So these are my 5 books, but the book we're focusing on today is 2-Second Lean. So what is 2-Second Lean? 2-Second Lean is basically my attempt as a D and C student, someone who struggled through school, had dyslexia and everything was hard, to take a complex system called the Toyota production system and make it simple so anyone could understand it. And I'm going to show you how simple it is in this presentation, and you'll get it. Now, the first thing you need to know is I can't teach you anything. So all of you have logged on, over 250 people have logged on today, and you're thinking I'm going to teach you something. Guess what? I am not going to teach you anything, and I'm going to tell you why. Because all I can really do is show you what I'm doing. The minute I become the teacher, I become elevated above you, and you're not going to listen to me. You're going to think I'm some cocky guy that wants to tell you that you don't know what you're doing. I'm not interested in doing that. I'm only going to show you what we're doing. And at that point, you can decide what you want to do. Now, I learned this concept of showing from a good friend of mine, Mr. Yoshino. He's that picture of that guy up there. And Mr. Yoshino is an amazing guy because he was responsible for the NUMMI transformation back in 1984. If anybody knows about the NUMMI plant, GM's worst performing plant in San Francisco Bay Area, they shut it down because the workers were actually sabotaging the cars. They had drug rings inside the factory. They had prostitution rings. They sabotaged the cars. They had to tow most of them off the line. It was a total epic disaster. GM shut it down. Toyota wanted to learn how to make small, high-quality cars, or they wanted to make small, high-quality cars in the United States, didn't know how to work in the United States. So they partnered with GM, who showed them how to do business in the United States, and in turn, Toyota showed GM how to make small, high-quality cars, Japanese cars. Mr. Yoshino was tasked with training the same union employees with doing that, which is amazing because they were big burly people. You can see down here, they had the union leaders. They took them to Japan and they trained them side by side, one by one. And Mr. Yoshino was a young engineer and he taught me the concept. He said, I'm a young Japanese guy. You guys defeated us in World War II. You guys are not going to listen to me. You're proud Americans. I get it. So I said, I'm going to show you what we're doing, but I'm not going to teach you because the minute I become the teacher, I'm elevated and it's not going to work. So that's what happened. This is Mr. Yoshino. He's told me that story in his office in Japan and the way we went. And the story is unbelievable. They basically took a factory that was worst in GM. They shut it down to first in 2 years. They went from the worst plant in GM worldwide to the #1 in GM. And Toyota did that with the same employees. A remarkable story. So what you do with the information I'm going to share with you today is your decision. It's not me. It's your decision. You can reject what I'm going to say, or you can say, wow, Paul, I never thought about that before. I never thought that you could actually do lean and make it simple. I never thought that you could actually build an innovative culture where everyone's participating. Or you can keep doing the same thing you've been doing, like a hamster here, and you can go round and round and round and wake up tomorrow morning and say, why is everything the same? How come I can't ever get my company on track? Why are we still having the same problems? I was that hamster. But in 2000, I learned about the Toyota production system and I got off that crazy wheel and the rest is history. So lean, 2-second lean is not a superhero program. If you think you're gonna get one guy to come in and save the day and teach everybody what's going on, this is not the system for you. It is not a superhero program. And it is not bureaucracy. If you think I'm gonna tell you to fill up forms and charts and data and all the other crap, you can forget it because we don't do any of that. I don't have any of it in my company and we don't do it. And it's not the flavor of the month. It's not, you're going to come in here and, come back from a trade show, come back from something and say, I got this great thing. We're going to do this now. And then it fizzles out after 1 month. That is not what it is. This is something that has the staying power for decades to transform companies and people. But what it is a total participation system. Everyone in your company is involved in this concept and the way you do business from here on out when you adopt it. So we'll take a trip. And we're going to go over to Japan real quick, and I'm going to show you some interesting concepts. So Shigeo Shingo and Taichi Ono are really the kind of the fathers of Lean, the Toyota production system. Shingo was a great engineer, and Taichi Ono was also an engineer that worked for Toyota who developed the Toyota production system in just in time. So Richio Shingo is a good friend of mine, and Richio Shingo is the son of Shigeo Shingo, and I was in Japan with Richio, and I rose my hand on the bus and I said, Richio, if I know nothing about the Toyota production system and I meet you in a park and you're watching your grandchildren play with the ducks and you tell me you're the president of Toyota China and the son of Shigeo Shingo, and I say, what does Toyota do that's so special? He said to me, you know nothing and I know everything, and I'm going to tell you what is the Toyota production system. And this is what he said to me. He said, the Toyota production system is the accumulation of small ideas from everyone. Remember I said total participation. The key here, it's the accumulation of not big ideas, not Kaizen events like everybody else teaches you. Everybody else teaches you, you gotta have a Kaizen master, you gotta have a black belt, you gotta have a green belt, you gotta have a yellow belt, you gotta have all this stuff, you gotta have these specialists come in, consultants. No, none of that. It is the accumulation of small ideas from everyone. This is from the former president of Toyota China and the son of Shigeo Shingo. So you have to think about that. Ken Snyder, who knew Shigeo Shingo, Dr. Ken Snyder of the Shingo Institute, when I asked him about it, You know what he told me, Shigeo Shingo told him? He said that the important thing about lean is that you do it. You don't talk about it, you don't measure it, but you do it. And Shigeo Shingo spent 10 years measuring graphs, statistics, and analysis, and he calls it his wasted 10 years. He should have been doing lean. He should have been making those small improvements and eliminating waste. This is right from Dr. Ken Snyder, who knew Shingo. These are powerful concepts that I'm saying. Remember, I told you, what I do is I get my hands dirty. My hands are dirty because I do this all the time, okay? So one of Ono's precepts was valueless motion are equal to, look at this, shortening one's life. So waste, when you let waste enter into your life, your personal life, your business life, and your work, you're basically shortening your life. So we want to get rid of the valueless activity. That's what lean's all about. We want to eliminate waste, non-value-added activity, because we don't want to shorten our life. Now, this waste is swirling around every one of you. It's like a tornado, it's like a vortex. And most of you watching, the 250 people watching right now, you don't even see it. But yet it's literally a vortex of waste. It's in how you answer your emails, how you pass on communication, how you get your lunch ready in the morning, how you clean your toilet, how you have your meetings, whether or not people show up late, how you do every process, because everything you do in life is a process. From how you get your car keys, to how you wash your car, to how you communicate with your wife, to how you feed your dog, to how you get your leash, it's all a process. And every day you perform hundreds of processes. And those processes, by and large, are clunky and do not work well. So a lean thinker is simply saying, if I got to get the dog leash, where should the dog leash always be? Where should the dog leash always be put back at? So when I go to get it, I can do it the most effective way. So every day you start and finish a process, from cleaning your car keys to building a widget to answering information. In between the starting and the ending point of all those processes, whether it be getting the dog leash or answering an email communication chain, there is waste. Lean thinkers just saying, where's the non-value? Where's the non-value? How do we get rid of it? How do we take out the waste so we deliver pure value to ourselves and to our customers, both internally and externally? That's it. It's so simple. Lean is so simple. The question is, can you see it? And here's the answer. 98% of people in the world do not see the waste. 98% of the people listening to this webinar right now do not and will not see the waste that I'm talking about. But there are 2% of the people, the 250 people listening, 2%, 5, 6 of you, they're going to get what I'm saying, and your life is going to be changed forever. For those 5 or 6 people, I'm very happy for you right now. For the rest of you, I'm very sad, because if you don't get to see waste, you're going to waste your life. I'll continue. So when I'm in Japan, I teach in Japan all the time at Toyota and Lexus, and I bring people from all over the world. I always ask them, why do you do lean? You've come all the way to Japan, spent a lot of money, you've been transforming your company, why do you do lean? And they give me a variety of different answers, and it's very interesting. So one of the answers I got was the most interesting of all, and that was from Rob. He is the president of US Synthetics. They made synthetic diamonds in Utah. Now, Rob is responsible for thousands of employees globally, big time company. And this was his answer to me on the bus. It was profound. He said, why do I do lean, Paul? Because it's like giving me 100 lifetimes. Think about that. He says, by eliminating all the waste out of my life, I'm like living 100 lifetimes. I'm getting so much more out of life. Who doesn't want to live 100 lifetimes? Well, that's what I feel like. You know, I'm a pretty successful guy. I'm an instrument-rated pilot. I've gone to Everest Base Camp. I've done Mount Kilimanjaro. I scuba dive all over the world. I kite surf. The list goes on and on and on what I do. I write books. I run a big company. I speak all over the world. How does one human being do all that? Well, the answer is simple. I am eliminating waste at everything I do. I am improving everything I do. This presentation, I've given hundreds, if not thousands of times. I made over 40 improvements to it before I spoke today to you. I'm never satisfied. Lean thinkers are never satisfied. They're always looking for better ways to do everything. And they're eliminating waste to add more value to their life so they can have a rich and full life. If you want to have a rich and full life, start seeing waste, just as Rob said. Okay, so this is a good example. A typical thing. How many hotels have all you checked into in your life? I've checked into thousands of hotels. I have never, ever been to a hotel that has this right here. This was in Atlanta. I checked into the hotel and I went to set up my laptop, like all of us do. We plug in our phone and we look for, where's the plug? Is it on the lamp? Is it on the wall? Is it behind the desk? Look what this hotel did. They put an icon on top of the desk to tell me that the plug-in was right on the edge of the desk. That's lean thinking. That's visual management. That's reducing the waste of me poking around trying to figure out where the plug is. We've all wasted millions of hours globally looking for the plug to plug in our phone and our laptop. But this hotel, lean thinkers, got it. This is how simple lean is. Simple visual controls that assist you in performing whatever process, whether it be plugging in your computer or answering your email, to do it effectively without any waste or deliberation. It's a beautiful thing. So what's my goal? My goal is for you to see waste like you've never seen it before. It should electrify you. It should be like, oh my gosh, Paul, I see what you're talking about. This is incredible. So this is one of my favorite examples that I give to people on what waste is and how prevalent it is in everything we do. This is an airline ticket I received from Delta Airlines. Take a look at that ticket. So I'm ADD, dyslexic, C&D student. That's just like gobbledygook to me. I have no idea what that ticket's saying, and I have no idea where I'm supposed to be, when I'm supposed to be there. I took that ticket, took my iPhone, took a picture of it, sent it to my graphic design team. Now remember, Fastcap does tens of millions of dollars of business all over the world. We're a decent sized company, very successful. But Delta is one of the biggest airlines, if not the biggest in the world. They have billions of dollars access of capital. And this is the garbage that they're producing. I sent it to my graphic design team, a team of one person. In 15 minutes, they developed the Lean airline ticket. How do we do that? How in 15 minutes can we produce this airline ticket, which is absolutely freaking amazing, and Delta can't figure their head out from the hole in the wall? You know, how does it happen? The answer is simple. We see waste. We understand visual controls. We understand that everything's a process. We want to make everything easy. So look at this ticket, how it's laid out. In the exact order you need the information, graphical, so it's easy to understand. All the fonts are standardized. They're large enough you don't have to squint if you're over 40 like me. I'm 61, have a hard time reading things. It's so simple, right? Think about sitting down the plane. How many people go, I'm in seat 70. Where's 70? Is D on the window? Is D in the aisle? Is D in the middle? Where's D? This is the 21st century. You mean we can't print a boarding pass that shows you the configuration of the plane so you know where it is? We'd load the plane 50% faster if we just did these simple things. That means the plane's going to be in the air faster. That means the plane's going to get on the ground faster. That means it's going to cost you less. It's going to cost the airlines less to operate. All because you can see waste. It's that simple. So think about it. What ticket do you want? The Lean airline ticket or Delta's piece of crap? You tell me. Any Delta employees working for you or listening right now? I apologize, but I speak the truth. So let's look at this. Toyota comes to my plant. I show them the Lean airline ticket. They go, that is amazing, Paul. But they say, we think we can improve it. And I say, great. I don't get defensive. I don't say, well, it's my Lean airline ticket. Don't tell me what to do. I go, I want to improve. I'm a lean thinker. I don't care whose idea it is. I just want to improve. Toyota says, put an arrow on the direction of flight to remove all ambiguity. Put the arrival time so the person picking you up knows what time they need to pick you up and you don't have to extrapolate it and deal with the time zone issues. Brilliant. Put the date at the top. I made the changes in 15 minutes. Toyota hadn't even walked 30 feet in my plant. The graphic design team had already updated and it was redone in my keynote. That's lean thinking. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? So look at this. Small 2-second improvement. That's what 2-second lean is. The accumulation of small ideas from everyone. Toyota gave me an idea. It was a small idea and we implemented it. This is what lean is all about. That's from Michio Shingo, former president of Toyota China, son of Shigeo Shingo. The accumulation of small ideas from everyone, continuously, endlessly on everything you do. My talk, I've given hundreds, if not thousands of times. I made 40 improvements to it for this presentation. Think about that. Never satisfied, always looking how to improve everything. So then I show this talk in Canada. They look at it and they say, Paul, you know what? You've got the airline, you've got the plane in the wrong direction. So when I'm walking out of the airline, I got to invert that in my mind. I said, you know what, you're so smart. I immediately sent it, took my phone out, sent a message to my team on WhatsApp. My team made the change before I got off the stage. I had it updated in my keynote and showed it to them in Canada. And they looked, how in the world did you do that? I said, well, I'm a lean thinker. Everything I do is easy. I don't make things hard. And I updated it. Brilliant, great improvement. So let's see the next improvement. So then I'm speaking in Germany to Mercedes-Benz. And Heinz looks at this and he goes, Paul, it's great, but we enter from the back of the plane and the front of the plane. I go, oh, that's a great idea. We can easily extrapolate the back of the plane entrance as well as the front of the entrance. So if you're in the back of the plane, you've got a picture of the back of the plane. Oh, so perfect, so easy. Okay, then I go to Australia. The Australians look at it and go, well, you got a whole blank back of the ticket, Paul. Put the map of the airport you're in so that you know where you're going with a graphical output of exactly where you need to go. I go to an airport, I'm like in a dark hole. I have no idea which way. I'm going to read these signs, Terminal 1, Gate 6, 10. No idea. No visual output of what the map's really laid out on. So we put it on the back of the ticket, just like that. Got it done. While I was in Australia, my team updated it. That simple. I'm in Indiana speaking. They look at it and they say, you know that QR code? How many times you see people put that thing in the scanner and they have to flip it over? They don't know whether that's reading from the top or the bottom. Indiana says, put this code on both sides. And I go, wow, what a smart idea. Let's put it on the back. So it doesn't matter how you put it in. You're not going to make a mistake. This is called Poka-yoke. You can't make a mistake. Look how cool this is. So simple. That's a small 2-second improvement. It's that simple. It's incredible. I go to Kazakhstan. I'm speaking in front of 2,000 people. These guys raise their hand and say, Paul, we got an idea. I stopped the whole talk in front of 2,000 people. I said, what's your idea? Just like I'm encouraging you right now. If you have a question, go and ask me a question. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. And I say, what's your idea? And they go, add the time zone. Add the time zone on the map so you know for sure what the time zone is. You're not guessing at it. No guessing and assuming. I go, brilliant. Took out my phone, WhatsApp, sent a message immediately on stage in front of 2,000 people, graphic design people, updated it, sent it back to me. Before I walked off the stage, it was updated. That's 2-second lean. That's lean thinking. Why can we do this? Because we can see waste. We see the waste in everything, and we make no excuses. So there are 8 deadly sins of waste: overproduction, transportation, excess inventory, defects, overprocessing, wasted motion, waiting time, and wasted potential. So I did a fun little one, fast food style. Let me explain. You have 3 people waiting to get fed at McDonald's or Big Guys or Burger Guys or whatever you want to call it, whatever burger joint you go to. 3 people are up there, but they make 20 hamburgers. They're overproducing. Then what do? They transport those. Where do they put them in McDonald's? They have a warming oven. So they have a big, nice warming oven. They transport them, they put them in inventory. So now you've got 20 hamburgers there. Your customer walks in and orders a hamburger with no pickles and ketchup, but you've only made hamburgers with pickles and ketchup. What do you have to do? You either have to take that hamburger apart, scrape it out, you have to throw that hamburger out, or you have to make another one while the other 20 sit there and the quality denigrates. This is called a defect. But when you're just in time, you figure out how to make that hamburger for the customer just when they want it, just how they want it. That's what the Toyota production system is all about, giving the customer what they want, when they want it, with the quality they want. So now, if you had to take that pickle out, you have to overprocess it, or you have to throw it in the trash can. Then you've wasted motion doing that. The customer's waiting because you're doing all this stupid work, and you've wasted the employee potential of your people because they're doing all this stupid waste work instead of producing value for the customer, what the customer wants, when the customer wants it. That's the 8 wastes. Those 8 wastes exist in almost everything you do. So if you look at the airline ticket, overproduction. They gave me way too much information, stuff I didn't know. I didn't even know the abbreviation of all these airports and all this crap. I didn't need any of that stuff. I didn't need square boxes around things. I didn't need codes in the middle of it that I didn't know what they were for. I didn't need any of this stuff. I didn't need to know it was a boarding pass. It was obvious it was a boarding pass. Overproduction. Then what did? They transported me through the airport. Then what did? They stacked me up in inventory. Then what did? I missed my plane. So now I got a defect. Then I have a heart attack. Then now we got to overprocess. I got to bring in a paramedic to treat me. Terrible thing. Overprocessing. Got to rebook my flight. They got to build travel desks and information people, and they got to staff them. All kinds of crazy stuff. They got to build big reader boards to tell people what gate to be at, when to be at, instead of just getting it right the first time. tremendous overprocessing. Then wasted motion, standing in line, shuffling through the line, waiting for my next flight. I'm exhausted, and wasted employee potential. This happens everywhere in everything, whether it be an airline ticket, answering an email, or making what you make for your company. It doesn't matter. The wastes are everywhere. And you know what? This is not rocket science. It's a freaking airline ticket. This is kindergarten simple stuff. And yet it's eluding 98% of the people in the world. 98% of the people that I come in contact with are doing the most inane, stupid activities. I look at it, I just go, how could people be this blind? Well, the answer is simple. They have not learned about the 8 wastes. They have not learned to see waste, and they have not learned the powerful concept of making small improvements, the aggregation of marginal gains. So what ticket do you want? Do you want the one on the top, or do you want the one on the bottom?
Hey, Paul.
Look what we've done. Yes.
Sorry, it's Manny. So we had a couple of comments come in about the ticket that I think may be of interest to you. So you encouraged it. So
Let's do it.
one was somebody said, hey, why don't we change the date format to day, month, year? Because
Done.
that's what other countries use.
It's already done. A guy, Muhammad in Egypt, told me to do that, and that's been updated.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's not updated on this slide. It's on another slide, but yes, it's been updated.
Okay. Also, too, they said maybe add local time zone information.
We did that. The Kazakhstan people suggested do that.
Okay.
Did you
and then
see
somebody
that
else.
one? Go ahead.
Then somebody else asked, well, what has Delta said about your boarding pass? And I guess.
Yeah, good question. They've never said anything about it, and they're welcome to use it. I don't want anything for it. I'm happy to help them out. But at this point, they have not done it. And not just Delta, but every other airline in the world still has their heads so far up their rear end, they don't even know what they're doing, because they all do this nonsense.
Okay.
That just goes back to my point about 98% of the people don't get this. So if you are one of the 2% out there, you have a strategic advantage over everyone else in the world. I always tell people, it doesn't matter what business I'm in. If I'm a doctor, a lawyer, I'm a trash man, or I'm making woodworking tools, I will completely decimate you if you're my competition. You will be out of business. You will not be able to compete with me.
Okay, that's it for questions.
Okay, and please interrupt me. So we improved the safety of this. I'm not gonna have a heart attack anymore, right? I don't have to run through the airport and trip and fall and break a leg. Okay, it's a good thing. We've improved the quality. Certainly the information is much easier to access. It's much simpler to access. I mean, a kindergartner can figure this out. You don't need a college degree person to figure out what the ticket's trying to tell you, and it's much faster to get the information. These are the criteria by which we measure improvement. We never want to impair safety. We want to improve quality. We want to make things simpler, not more complex, and we want to speed things up. So everyone thinks lean is all about speed. It's the least important thing. Quality is the big thing we're focusing on. How do we improve the quality of everything we do? And this is what the Japanese do so well, and this is what Toyota and Lexus are doing at a level above everyone else.
Excuse me, Paul, I have another question that I think is relevant.
Go ahead.
What do you think of the recommendation that most people give of stabilizing a process before improving?
Oh, you have to. Not only do you have to stabilize it, you have to standardize it. So you have to create a clear standard on how the process is done over and over again by everyone. Because once you have a standard, only then do you have the ability to measure and improve. You can't have 10 different people doing the process 10 different ways and then trying to figure out what's the best way. You find one way, stable, you make improvements, you run experiments, you make those improvements, then you keep making them. You have to stabilize the process, absolutely.
Okay, somebody else said about the ticket, referring back to that, how about Braille for people who can't see very well?
Well, certainly they can have a Braille version. If they need that, then when they go up to the counter, they say, I need the Braille version, and they print it out and they print a Braille version. I'm not an expert at Braille, so I wouldn't know exactly all the criteria, but I'm sure that if my lean team was tasked with figuring that out, we'd figure it out in short order.
Okay, and that's all.
Okay, but good comments, actually. Everyone's good comments, good questions. Okay, so now, if any of you have ever seen Saturday Night Live, they say, what do we do when we find problems? Well, this guy did a fabulous skit basically he said there are 3 steps. Fix it now. Everything we do, we stop and we fix it now. And he is hysterical how he does this skit. We find problems, what do? Oscar Rogers says we fix it, okay? Hello, Seth. Hello, Amy. Okay, he says the stock market's up 500 points, then it's down 400 points. What do, Oscar? Very good analogy, Seth. Very much a roller coaster ride. What do? What we need to do is stop and fix it now. Okay? So Oscar Rogers totally gets it. We need to stop and fix it. So I'm speaking of the Shingo Institute. I fly into Utah, I fly into Salt Lake City, and this is like the home of the lean guys, right? And I walk in and I look at this and I'm trying to get my rental car and I look at this sign that says rental car, off airport rental car shuttles. Well, everyone, what's the problem with this sign? What's the problem with this sign? It doesn't tell me what I need to know. What rental cars are straight ahead? What rental cars are off airport? How do I know that? Right? So look what I do. Oh, I'm a lean thinker. Instantly, I change this. I change this in my keynote and give us an example at the Shingo Institute where I won the Shingo Prize. That's what it should say. Rental cars, budget, Fox, Sticks, this way. Rental cars, Hertz, Thrifty, Dollar, Avis, this way. It gets better and better. Watch, we'll keep going. This says Terminal 1, Terminal 2. Why do I need all this? It's obvious I'm at the airport. Do I need an icon for the airplane? Come on, really? I'm at the airport. This is typical. People overprocess, they add too much. Lean is about the art of subtraction and giving the customer only what they need. So this is my version. Left version is Utah, is Salt Lake City. My version is Terminal 1, Terminal 2. That's all I need to know. Very simple. It gets better. Lean is fun and lean is simple. All these things are right underneath your nose. So we'll take a toilet. This is the best example of all. So men have a problem. They go into the bathroom. It's generally pretty messy. We don't do a very good job of it. So everybody went about trying to find how to make the best toilet. So we've made long ones, we made short ones, we made tall ones. We've done all different shapes, but we still have the same problem. And so they ran a contest and they said, let's see who can come up with the best toilet of all. And this one, everyone said, this is the ultimate toilet for a man. 95% of people said, this is a useful design. But then some smart statistician from the Netherlands came up with a better idea. You ready? Lean is simple. They took a small toilet, not a big one, a round one, not an oblong one, and etched a fly in it. Give a man a target. Lean is simple. It's that easy. So 2-second lean is about all my mistakes that I made on implementing a lean culture. That's what it's all about. And the mistakes I made was I didn't realize how simple it was. Lean is super simple. It's using your wits and not your wallet. Just like this guy solved the problem, the toilet problem. Just like we solved the airline ticket problem. The key is for all of you to start looking for simple, creative solutions to everything you're doing every day to improve the quality of your work and your life at home and your life in your organization. That's what 2-second lean is all about. I lay out the entire journey, the last 20 years. Today, this book is in 19 languages. I have an app called 2-second lean play. It has my books in 9 languages in audio format. I've spent over $50,000 on the app. It's all free. You can download it in Spanish and Russian and Chinese and Japanese. You name it, it's there. You can listen to my books. It's all free because my target is to improve the quality of life for people around the world. That's basically my talk. I'm open to taking all the questions you want right now. Manny, go ahead.
As a mid-manager in a new company where improvement projects are only tied to addressing missed targets, how do I encourage the change to a 2-second lean approach?
Excellent question. So middle management is the toughest part because you don't have total authority. But what you do have is you have authority over your sphere of influence. So first of all, your number one sphere of influence that everyone needs to know about right now is you. So if you hear me speak and you go home and say, oh my gosh, my wife has so much waste, or my husband has so much waste, or the people I work with have so much waste, you're a fool and you're going to miss this. You only need to do one thing. Take your finger, turn it around, point it right at yourself. You're the problem. That is your number one sphere of influence. Focus on the processes that you're responsible for doing every day and improve those. And if you have a team of 10 people that you're responsible for, work only with that team of 10 people. Make your tight little cell of influence incredible. Make it like an lean airline ticket. And everyone in your organization will pay attention. They'll go, hey, what's Manny doing? What's Barbara doing? What's Mary doing? What's Fred doing? Look how incredible their department runs. They have all these things that are being improved. Everything's easy. I go to them. Everything gets done right away. There's no waiting. There's no mistakes. That's the answer. Forget about your whole company. Only focus on your sphere of influence, number one being you, and number two, the people you're immediately responsible for.
I'll tell you,
Next question.
I think this airline ticket and airline discussion has really stimulated a lot of thinking, because somebody made a comment, there's a brand new airport in Salt Lake City. I hope the signs have been updated.
No.
Somebody else said, okay. And somebody else said, well, how do you identify special needs on the ticket for people that need wheelchair access or something along those lines?
Well, it's all doable. It's not a problem. I mean, if there's an issue like that, here's what I would say. When you're booking your ticket, if the airline was smart, they would say, do you have any special needs? You check a box, and then it reveals a menu of the things you have, and that stuff's printed out, and then that stuff is populated on your ticket specific to you. I mean, this is the 21st century. This is digital stuff. This is easy. Amazon ships packages all over the world almost flawlessly. We certainly can make an airline ticket to be able to populate that level of information for each individual. Very simply done.
Yeah, just one more related to the ticket. Isn't some of the information for the workers at the airport? So you could take all their needs in if you had the stakeholders involved in the same section.
You need to tell me what information we need. Whatever information we need, we'll put it on there. But for sure, the information is poorly organized the way Delta did it. And if there's improvements that need to be made, we will make the improvements so that people at the airport have the information they need, as well as the people at the who are the passenger. For instance, on the updated version of it, I don't have it in this card deck because that talk, I just don't have it with me right now. But we have TSA assignments. We updated all kinds of little tweaks everywhere on the ticket. It's just amazing now. I gave you the abbreviated version.
So there's a number of questions about implementation, whether it's a complex, low volume, or if it's a large bureaucracy, not having enough power. I mean, I think you addressed some of that, but any other comments? There's a lot of interest.
Well, first of all, here's my comments. Number one, you will be successful in Lean if you focus on yourself, period, end of subject. Impossible not to be. Anyone that does a demonstrably better job than the people around them, they are always recognized, they are always elevated. It is the laws of nature. So you don't need to worry about anybody else other than the work that you do. When you do better work, people notice, period. And I tell this to people all the time, and I've seen over and over again, two things happen to people who understand the principle I just told you. They are either elevated to a next level of authority and position, or they're elevated all the way to the top, to the senior leadership where they have all the authority to make all the changes they want, or they're swooped up by another company because the company they work for is too stupid to realize how valuable a person. Or the third thing is, and this happens a lot, they go into business for themselves and they become wildly successful because they can't kick against the grain their whole life. It becomes futile to work with people that don't want to change and don't want to improve. So those are the three scenarios that happen.
Okay, got it. A lot of people have asked questions about the 2-second lean downloads you mentioned. I don't think you ever mentioned it, paulakers.net, but I chatted that out there to everybody.
Everything's free. I don't charge for anything, you know? If you want to buy my book on Amazon, you can do it. We sell hundreds and hundreds of thousands of books. It's like so popular, it's unbelievable. But I'm not in this to make money. I'm in this to help people. And I've spent literally millions of dollars putting this information out there. The website's incredible. The app is unbelievable. And it's all free. We don't want anything from you.
Right. So just as a reminder to folks, if you haven't been checking the questions, I have addressed a number of them out to everyone. So paulakers.net. If you can't remember the website, you can see it in the questions.
And the name of the app is exactly what it said, 2 Second Lean. You type that into Google Play or Amazon or into OS, it will come up. And 2 Second Lean Play. It's a really cool app, really well done. And I'll tell you something else, man, that's so incredible, and the listeners should be blown away by what I'm going to tell you right now. There is no author in the world that has done what I've done in my app. None. Because I'm a lean thinker, and this is what I did. You're listening to me read my book. You're listening to it in Spanish. You're listening in Chinese. It doesn't matter what it is. And you say, but what about this, Paul? Live in the app is a chat to push a microphone button and ask me a question, and I will answer it.
Wow, that is cool. Somebody else asked a question. Hey, if I'm part of the 98%, how do I move into the 2%?
Well, you want to know the truth?
Sure.
Okay. Can I be crass, or would you rather me not be crass?
Oh, I'd rather you be you, Paul.
Okay. First, recognize you have your head up your ass. And then start working on pulling it out by understanding you're an abject failure in the way you've been running your organization and doing your work. That's what I did. I was very successful, making millions of dollars a year. Toyota came into my plant. They looked around and I said, could you help me? And they told me these words. I don't think so, Paul. You're clueless and you don't know how to manufacture. Now, I was a very successful person. My factory looked amazing, so to speak. I'm being a little bit fallacious just for the sake of making a point, a little technicolor. And I said, really? He said, yeah, you're clueless and you don't know what you're doing. And I said, well, I feel pretty successful and I know the bottom line says I know what I'm doing. What am I doing wrong? And they said, you need to learn the Toyota production system, or Kaizen, the elimination of waste. And fortunately, I was curious enough to find out what they were talking about. I let them come into my plant, and in 2 weeks, they took processes that were taking me 47 minutes to do to 5 minutes. When they did that twice in a row to 2 of my major production lines that I had set up, I concluded Paul Akers has his head up his ass and he doesn't know what he's doing. And the rest has been a wonderful journey from there.
Somebody's asking about using lean to fight climate change. How might that work?
Well, actually, so that's a great question. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about me right now. So you ready? I think the whole climate change, environmental movement is greenwashing. It's BS. If you want real environmentalists, you teach the world how to see the waste. The amount of waste that we produce as individuals every day is so staggering. 40% of all the food in the world is thrown in the garbage. You just start looking at the crap that you throw out every day. You don't need carbon credits. You don't need special environmentalists to tell you what to do and how to do. Every human being on the earth just needs to become a lean thinker. And any sustainability problem on this earth will melt away in short order.
So there's a question here about change. And in my experience, Paul, people love change, especially when it happens to someone else. How do you work around that?
You know, that's a psychological question. And here's what I would tell you. People change for one reason, because they feel the benefit of it. They do something because there's some benefit. A drug addict becomes a drug addict because they feel the benefits of getting high. A person loses weight because they decide to change their behavior on what they eat, and there actually is a result. But when you go to lose weight, I'll give you a good example. You go to lose weight and you change your diet and you don't, and it doesn't really, you don't really get on the scale every day and there's very little change. Are you going to keep up with it? The answer is no, you're not. And it happens to most people who try to lose weight. They don't keep up with it because it's too difficult. It doesn't work. But the minute you create a system that actually produces a significant change and you feel the benefit as an individual, you will change. You'll become one of the 2%ers. And the way you do that, I lay out in my book, is very simple. Before you do anything in the morning, the first thing you do is you 3S. You sweep, sort, and standardize your bedroom, your office, your kitchen. You never work until everything is set in order. You make your bed. You clean up your countertop. You wipe off your countertop. And in the process of doing this, you determine, you find defects. You see that you have water all over your mirror. So you ask yourself, why am I wiping the water off my mirror? Because I splash. Why do I splash? Because the water pressure is on too high. How do I fix that? You reach underneath the sink and you turn the valve slightly to a lower position so that the water doesn't splash. Now you're not splashing water on the mirror. You're not wasting water. You're not wasting soap to wash the towels. This is lean thinking. When you do a simple process of 3S'ing every day, looking for problems, fixing those problems, making those small improvements, as Shingo says, the aggregation of marginal gains, small improvements from everyone, you start to feel the benefits, how you don't have to wipe the sink anymore. You don't have to walk 4 times to the refrigerator to get the cream, to get this, to get that, because you've organized your coffee in a more thoughtful way. When you start to feel the benefits of lean and these small improvements, you will be hooked and nobody will have to convince you of anything. You won't need a green belt, a black belt, a white belt, an orange belt. You won't need any belt. You'll just do it because it works.
So still more questions about how to get started. I think people are buying into your message. They're trying to convince themselves and others how to do this. So for instance, one person says, hey, if my place is disorganized and dirty, how important is it to try to clean before starting with 2-second lean improvements?
Well, that is the very essence of 2-second lean, is cleaning. The very first thing you do is you start to clean and organize your work area so that you have, so there are standards and processes that are set in place. It's very important. But here's what I tell people not to do. Let's take, for instance, your garage. Most people's garage is a nightmare. You know it. Everybody knows it that's listening to this right now. There might be 3% of the people in here that have a clean, organized garage. Most of it is chaos. I do not tell you to go on Saturday and tear the whole garage apart. No. I tell you to take one shelf, work on one shelf, and the next day work on another shelf. Take 5 or 10 minutes. You need to be consistent in lean. It is not important that you have big sweeping changes. It's important that you have small, consistent changes. This is the key, and this is how you get started. That's why we say the first thing you do every day is 3F. The first thing I do when I get out of bed is I make my bed. First thing I do is make sure that I'm set in order to do the job properly. I keep my car clean. I keep my glove box clean. I keep my desk clean. I keep my desktop on my computer clean. Before I start doing work, is everything set in order? Have I deleted all the old files? Am I ready to work effectively? Go ahead.
Okay. So I know the folks out at Snapcab in Warrington. I know them. I live near them, and they're great folks. I know they're associated with you. They're very big on A, B, and C solutions. I think this is one of those questions. So what do you think of checklists, or is there something more effective here?
Oh my gosh, checklists are brilliant. No, checklists are the checklist manifesto. Checklists are brilliant. We have checklists on everything. When we ship an item, particularly our complex items like our best fence system, we have a checklist to make sure we've got every last thing, that we haven't missed a single thing. We do it all the time. Checklists are brilliant. But the better thing than a checklist, is a Poka-yoke, which means a mistake proof in Japanese. It means it will not allow you to do the process wrong. You cannot make, the jig will not function, the tool will not work if it is not done correctly, if it is done incorrectly.
Sure, okay. Here's a question that I'm just going to read as is. What do you think of checklists? No, sorry. There are lots of interdependencies among things. How do you segregate an issue from interdependencies when making changes?
Read it again. I'm a little slow. One more time.
There are lots of interdependencies among things.
Got it.
How do you segregate an issue? Okay.
Okay, so here's what you do. First of all, you have stakeholders that are upstream and downstream of your process. And when you make a change, you have to realize that that change potentially can affect the people upstream and downstream from you. So the way we do it in our company is we consult with the stakeholders upstream and downstream and say, this is what we want to do. Can you see anything, any negative benefit or any negative impact on you, or what would help you? So we're working as a team, collaborating upstream and downstream with our people because things are so interdependent. And that's just common sense. This is called respect for people. If you want to read a great book, read my last book, Banish Sloppiness, what I learned by living and working in Japan. And we talk about this respect for people and resources. The question somebody asked me about environmentalists and everything. You want to be the greatest environmentalist in the world, you respect people and resources. This is the big thing. You become very respectful of the fact that you're brushing your teeth and you're leaving the water on, and you're thinking about the fact that all that water is going down the drain. This is the way you become effective, but with a deep respect for people and resources.
So a couple of questions here, Paul, on 5S. And is it really a foundational lean improvement? Is that the first place you start, or there's a lot of starting questions?
It is everything. It's not 5S, it's 3S. 5S is a waste of time. If you're doing 5S, you're a failure. I'll explain. So self-discipline and sustain are the two S's that we don't practice. We just do sweep, sort, and standardize. Why? Because we're 1000% committed to 3S'ing every day. There's no need for anybody to remember self-discipline or sustain. It's automatic. Why would we want to add complexity by adding 5 things for someone to remember? Very difficult. We don't do it. Where do we learn that from? We learned it from a company in Japan called Hawks. President of the company, PhD, said, Paul-san, why are people making this so difficult? All we want to do is have clear standards, have a clean work area, and we want to do it on a daily basis. And we want to do it as a team every morning. We sweep, sort, and standardize. We don't self-discipline and self-sustain. It's obvious. We're going to do that. That's automatic. That's who we are. So 5S is a waste of time. If you're doing 5S and you have to remind yourself to be self-disciplined, I don't remind myself. I'm not disciplined. Discipline is the worst word on the planet. I am not a disciplined person. I am a smart, intelligent person. I 3S because it delivers massive benefits to me. No one has to whip me into shape. Paul, better 3S. Are you kidding? I'd be a moron if I didn't 3S every day. I'd be an idiot. I'd be self-sabotaging myself. There's no self-discipline. There's no sustainability. It's automatic for me because I'm using my brain.
So there's a comment here that Usain Bolt stated that he trained 4 years to be able to run in 9 seconds. Some people give up on something after just a few months. How do you get them to buy in?
You don't get anybody to buy in. You get yourself to buy in. Why are you listening to me today? You know who I am? I'm a carpenter. I'm a simple guy. I graduated. I got a degree in education. I'm no one special. I didn't go to Harvard. I didn't graduate from the Naval Academy. I did nothing. I'm a freaking carpenter. And yet my book's in 19 languages. I got 250 people listening right now. Why? I spoke to thousands of people all over the world. Why? Why? Nande, nande, nande in Japanese. Parque in Espanol. Why?
Okay.
Because I focused on myself and created a great example of what lean looks like in the real world. And by doing that, I changed the world.
So still coming back to the checklists, and what about situations where a checklist is treated like a rubber stamp? And I think these two things were related here.
Well, I mean, that would be overprocessing. That would be doing something that achieves no value. If it's not achieving an objective, it shouldn't be done. This is a waste of overprocessing.
Okay. Folks, we've got another couple of minutes left for questions. So if you want, just send some in because I think Paul's more than happy to answer them. So did I ask the one about the steps or questions that we can ask ourselves to properly find waste? I mean, we know what the 8 wastes are.
Yeah. There's only one step. There's only one step. There's not 3 steps. There's not 8 steps. Fix what bugs you. Period. Got a whole chapter on my book. Fix what bugs you. If you're doing something and you're slightly irritated by the process and a little bit grumbling under your breath, that is the very thing you need to stop right now and address and improve. You do not need to perfect it. You just need to improve it. And then tomorrow you need to improve it again and again for the rest of your life. Fix what bugs you.
So here's a re-ask. Do you think Lean can be taught in the higher education settings via a degree program like a bachelor's, for instance?
Well, first of all, universities, schools around the world use my book. They're like crazy. So absolutely it can be taught, and no question at all. But if they teach it a complex version, they're going to fail.
Okay, got it. Actually, in fact, next month, we're having a presentation on continuous improvement in higher education processes. It's given by a professor from the University of Wisconsin.
Well, the first thing that anybody needs to do who's trying to teach Lean is realize they don't know it all, and that the professor needs to be very open to all the great creative ideas that are in the students and in the audience. That's what I do, and that's how come we make so many improvements. I'll give you a great example of this for everyone listening. My company, we have 800 products. You know where the ideas come from? The products, not from our engineering team, not from me. They come from our customers. Our customers have the best solutions. They're the ones with the problems. They solve problems. They bring us their ideas. We pay them a 5% royalty. And the rest is history. 800 products. You ready for this? No marketing department, no sales department, no HR department. We do tens of millions of dollars of business in 40 countries. We have 6 people in the office managing tens of millions of dollars worth of business. Impossible. That's because we listen to our customers and we are nonstop improving, and our customers rave about us and they tell the world. We don't need a marketing department. We don't need salespeople. We get a new distributor somewhere in the world every day.
Wow. Another question. Have you ever had employees that don't buy in, and what did you do about that?
Oh, absolutely, all the time, sure. Well, I shouldn't say all the time, not much anymore, because we're very careful who we hire. But no, we give people a simple choice. We tell them, we have chosen Lean as the path for our company. It is not something we do, it is who we are. Our target, your target, is not to make woodworking tools and equipment. It is not. Your target is to improve the way we make woodworking tools and equipment. If you can do that, you can work here. But if you don't want to do that, if you want to come in and check your brain, guess what? Wrong place for you to work. So it's your decision. Are you going to come to work, engage your brain, and fix things, and improve things, fix what bugs you, and improve the process? Or are you going to come here and be a dead weight? If you're a dead weight, you're out. You're not part of our organization. It's very simple.
So another question, what do you think about using Kata to develop people?
Well, Kata simply is a routine. And that's exactly what you have to do. What have I been talking about? I've been talking about 3S'ing. When? Every week? No, every day, a daily Kata. That is the essence. We have a daily morning meeting. That's our daily Kata. We look at our problems every day. That's our daily Kata. We look at our improvements every day. That's our daily Kata. We have a WhatsApp chat and a Signal chat where all of our improvements are posted and all of our problems are posted. That's our daily Kata. This is the way we do work. Kata is everything.
Okay. So folks, I see it's just after 2 o'clock now. We've actually gone a little bit over, but before we disconnect, had a lot of questions about the presentation. Then they're wondering how they're going to get it, Paul. So I could send it out, or you could, depending on your preference.
No, I'll let you send it out. We'll figure out a way to get it to them, and then they can do it. But you know, I got to tell you, everyone who's listening, I have thousands of videos online. I've given this talk different variations because I'm always improving it. It's got 500,000 views online. Just type in Lean is simple. It comes up everywhere. So the resources are so plentiful on what I'm talking about. You could get this particular talk, but it's not gonna, if you want to see the Lean Airline ticket, just type in Paul Akers Lean Airline ticket. It's everywhere.
Sure. So I've had several questions about RUs as well. They should be sent out automatically the next day, tomorrow. If not, then feel free to email me. And again, my email address is in one of the ones that you've gotten. Also, too, I've had a lot of questions about the recording for this, and that will be posted to ASQ's Lean Enterprise Division channel on YouTube by Friday. So I will be doing that as well. Paul, on behalf of the group, I'd like to say thank you very much. I've gotten lots of great comments that you're going to be able to see, as well as some others related to the airline ticket still that you had addressed previously, which is why I didn't mention it. But really do appreciate it, and we're very much hoping that you can come back and give us the next, not version 2 of the talk, but whatever the next steps are.
Sure,
so,
absolutely.
On behalf of ASQ's LED, Paul, thank you again. It was a great and a very informative session.
Great, thank you, Manny, my pleasure.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, folks, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for spending some of it with us. Bye now.